Let's go for the yellow again. And I've still got some of the mauve on my brush, which might make quite an interesting colour. Ow! I'm on the floor. Not sure why, I just felt like it. Yes, we are going to do some painting today, not just sitting on the floor. I will not be painting on the floor today, so I don't know why I did that. Anyway, if you're new here, hi, I'm Janine. I'm an artist and I share my creative journey on this channel. And we are actually going to paint some more on, I say we, why am I saying we? I'm painting. You watch me paint, that's what you're here for. I'm going to continue working on my small painting panels that I've started last week. If you haven't seen that, you can watch it down below. And I haven't got a plan of what I'm going to do. I'm just going to continue some experimental mark making, maybe add some more colour. But last time I worked on them all together, like pushed together. So today I'm going to work on them individually, more as individual paintings. So we'll just go and see what happens. These boards that I've been working on have a lot of texture on them already, because that's what I focused on last time, to get lots of different marks and variety onto these panels. And now I think what I want to do is introduce some more areas of solid colour. And I have a few pre-mixed paints, and then I've also got my primaries, or sort of primaries here, and I'm going to mix from scratch, maybe use some of the pre-mixed colours and just still stay quite playful and not think about what I'm doing too much. And because I want to introduce more flat, solid areas, I'm going to use a bigger brush, which is just going to cover more surface more quickly. Might as well start with these pre-mixed ones that I've got here. I'm not really thinking about where I want those areas to be yet. Maybe a little bit, because I think this dark is probably a bit too much dark here. So I'm covering that a little bit. And I'm staying very intuitive here. So I'm probably not going to do very much on these at first. Just add some more calm and then look at it closely later. This one's not as bright in terms of colours, so I think I'm going to add some brighter colour here. Maybe some of this ultramarine blue, and I've still got a little bit of the light blue on my brush, so it won't be completely the pure ultramarine. One thing I am trying to do is, when I add a colour like this, I try and put bits of that colour all around the painting. So I'm not just adding some colour here, I'm actually putting it in a few different places, which makes the colours look cohesive and just makes your eye go around the painting. And this one's a lot of warm colours, so I think I'll introduce some cool colours. I've also got this light green, which is so many different colours in here. I don't know what I mixed in here. It's not even mixed from these limited colour palette colours. I'm just going with it anyway.
If you like this video, consider subscribing.
I love the yellow in here, so I think I might as well lean into that. I'm going to use a different brush though, I think. I might keep this one for my cooler colours. So I've got this, which is the yellow oxide, which is not as vibrant as this yellow. I do have a thing for yellow lately. It just makes everything a little bit happier, I think. Here I think I'm going to add some orange, and I'm actually going to mix that on the painting. I can already get some variation by just mixing in slightly different shades in the, or different hues in the wet paint. Here I have a lot of vibrant colours, so I think I can add maybe some of this mauve colour, which I really like. I did actually like a lot of what I've just covered. So what I'm going to do is reveal some again. Let's go for the yellow again. And I've still got some of the mauve on my brush, which might make quite an interesting colour. I love this orange here actually, this really vibrant bit. So I could either lean into the vibrancy of that, but I think what makes this sing is that the rest is so muted. So I think I'll stay with fairly muted colours here. So I'm just using what's already on my brush. I also love the blue with it. I think I actually want to go a little bit pink. I've got the pink here. Let's see what happens if I add just the red down here. Just make a bit like a gradient going into this muted colour. I think I've had too much water on this brush. I quite like the simplicity of this. I could add a light colour. This is actually very similar to the background colour. Just taking back some of this harsh line here. And then I want to add a bit more blue here, which might be too bright and I'll probably change it later again. But I'm just experimenting at this stage. And again, I'm adding a bit of blue up here, so it repeats throughout the painting. And now I'm back at the beginning. So I think I will introduce a little bit more of a neutral colour here. Let's try that pink that we've just used, that light pink. And now again I'm working a little bit more with texture and try and add a little bit more interest. Not sure about that, I might actually add some orange here. It's getting quite hectic. I'm not sure about that. I think I'll probably paint over that later. Another thing I could add is some Neocolor II crayons, which I really love. So these are water soluble. I do think I want to add some more scribbly marks to these like that. And then because they're water soluble, you can dissolve them with water. Which I could do now, or I could dissolve them once I add some paint. Or I probably wouldn't dissolve them with water, but with a fluid medium. Somehow my paint's not drying very quickly today, even though it's quite a hot day. Maybe it's just quite humid. And if you don't want these to dissolve, I would just dab a little bit of gloss medium on them, and then once that's dry, they won't budge. Got some fluid medium here. Ideally I'd use a gloss medium, but the matte is what I've got out. Just put a little bit on the side, and then I can use that to dissolve these and kind of create a glaze. And I can leave a little bit of the marks here. I do like that. What I don't like is how this creates a green on top of these. So I might change that later. Here I really feel like leaning into the warm tones. See what happens if I mix those two colours and dissolve that. I'm doing these marks very intuitively because I do want to keep that spontaneous nature of these scribbly marks. I'm not sure about the colours here. Let's add some blue to have something different. Maybe even some of the ultramarine. I will mix it with some of these other colours here to make it a little bit less vibrant. And so far I'm not liking any of this, but it doesn't matter because I'm only in a very experimental phase at the moment. Just seeing what happens when I put things onto the surface, which nothing good at the moment. Let's add some light colour, mix that in. Good even. I really love this catalyst wedge by Princeton. That often creates some really interesting effects. It's creating some lines here because I've got some dried paint on the edge. I also like this English red here, and I do have a Neocolor like that. Still love the orange, and I do like the pink that I've added here. Might add a touch of pink up here. See if I can use this palette knife. I mean, it's not pink, it's red, but it does work. I do actually like the blue with the yellow now and the orange. Thought I wouldn't, but I do. So some of these did not work out. I say work out. I've only just started painting on them, so they'll probably get more and lots of layers. But they're definitely in the messy middle stage, which is where everything looks very messy, and we'll just continue working on them next time. If you would like to also start to get into intuitive painting and you don't know how, then I have made a free guide, which is my no pressure path to painting, and you can download that in the description box below, and I'll give you some steps on how to get started. And if you haven't seen the previous video, I'll also link that down below in the description box, and I'll see you next time. Thanks, and bye bye.